Hey guys, wanted to bring you another YouTube video on 30 for 30 review on Be Water. It's a Bruce Lee documentary. Just finally finished getting caught up on it. It came out 2 weeks ago. I thought it was pretty interesting, especially with everything going on. So it was a pretty good release time, especially with everything going on with our society, with the BLM, Black Lives Matter movement, and just thought and kind of relive history. Like, you don't hear too much about what Asians had to go through. And so I just thought it was kind of interesting what Bruce Lee actually had to go through when he came from Hong Kong and tried to break through the industry and what he was trying to become. Originally, he actually wanted to be a business owner and actually open hundreds of kung fu places, which I think ultimately he kind of realized that it was going to be pretty much impossible to be able to do because there's only one master of kung fu at the time, and to be able to teach hundreds of places would be pretty impossible unless you actually had some other students that could actually teach and master it. I thought it was pretty interesting. I knew and heard of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar being close friends to Bruce Lee, and then also the way he was trying to learn. What I thought was kind of interesting how they became friends. I'm not sure if that's one reason why they actually ended up making a 30 for 30 documentary. Um, my wife actually was watching it with me and just thought, well, it's sports related. There are kung fu or MMA, different types of fighting matches, so they probably try using that as an incorporation of being part of ESPN and sports. So just thought that, oh, maybe it's a good opportunity to make a documentary on it. So I thought it was more of perfect timing on with everything going on. Kind of learned the history of the U.S. on um, racial inequality at the time, especially with Asians for breaking into Hollywood. It sounded like the history he had to go through was pretty hard for him to get into the industry. But obviously, his son was able to break into the industry, but without Bruce Lee breaking in earlier, probably he would have had a hard time having his son be able to break into the industry. So I thought it was pretty interesting how he was laying down foundations for other Asians. Like, you have more sitcoms and stuff like that. I remember people made a big deal about Fresh Off the Boat as being one of the sitcoms, but if you think about it, actually Bruce Lee was the first um, television show that was on ABC back then with the Green Hornet. So I would say it's worth watching, especially with everything going on. Could learn the history and see how things were unequal, and there was not enough opportunities at the time for even different places and different people. But he kept going and focusing on trying to break into the industry. It's just kind of sad that he never got to see how well his last movie did. And if he probably continued living, he could probably produce a lot more movies. Could have been like the Jackie Chan of today's modern era at the time by breaking new box office records and stuff like that. Um, so obviously, it's more of history and kind of showing that that movie that he made last was inducted in the history, um, cinematic history. So overall, I would say if you have 2 hours, especially with everything going on, go ahead and check it out. But I wouldn't put it on the top of your list if you have other things. Um, I did a review on the Long Gone Summer. That was a better one, I thought, kind of reliving. That's more sports related. But if you're looking for history and documentary of Hollywood, I would say this would be pretty much up there to see how Hollywood kind of changed over the years. Again, go ahead and like, share, comment, and subscribe, and continue to support us. Thanks. Bye.